Only one of them screamed.
His own words. One squealed a bit, so he didn't have time to clip the lady's ears off and send them to the police.
A right comedian, this one. A real jolly Jack the Ripper.
You'd think we get enough murder mayhem on the job.
Well, doctors go over old case histories. Architects study ancient buildings.
So we investigate celebrated crime.
You're the one who hates mysteries.
You're the one with the track record?
Yes. Every murder I've been on was cleared up.
So clear up these.
They had 8 inspectors on the case.
And 2 Lancashire Jacks are worth how many from the south?
Well, at least we are Jacks. Starting with the evidence and testing some theories. Not starting with the theory and selecting the evidence.
Busman's holiday.
Fine. We're using strict workaday methods.
Following our noses, though.
And the facts.
And the figures. You sticking to 5 murders?
Agreeing with Sir Melville MacNaughton, head of CID for Scotland Yard. The Whitechapel murderer committed 5 murders and no more.
I've never much taken to the view from the very top.
So at your level?
I'll stick with 5 all the same. There were others, but these 5 all had their throats cut.
It was one of Milado's trademarks. Let's check my list, eh? Number 1.
Nichols. Mary Ann, otherwise known as Polly.
Date?
Friday, August the 31st, 1888.
Number 2.
Chapman, Dark Annie. Saturday, September the 8th.
Next?
The double event. Elizabeth Stride, Long Liz. She was the one who screamed. Around midnight, Sunday, September the 30th. She was number 3. And number 4 was Catherine Eddowes. About an hour later.
And finally?
Kelly, Mary Kelly. Sometime in the morning of Friday, November the 9th, 1888.
Right, that's a lot then.
Unless you count Mrs. Burridge.
Who?
Mrs. Burridge.
Well, that name doesn't appear on any of my lists.
She's still an extra victim. Mrs. Burridge was a lady who ran a business in the Blackfriars Road. She got such a nasty turn reading about the second murder in the papers that she dropped down dead. I don't blame her either. Listen to this. This is the bit she was reading. A nameless reprobate, half beast, half man is at large. Hideous malice, deadly cunning, insatiable thirst for blood. All these are the marks of the mad homicide. The ghoul-like creature stalking down his victim like a Pawnee Indian is simply drunk with blood, and he will have more.
And he did. 3 more victims.
And a fair amount of blood from the start. The testimony of PC 97 Neil, J Division.
I was proceeding down Bucks Row, Whitechapel, going towards Brady Street at 3:45 a.m. on the morning of Friday, August the 31st. There was not a soul about. I'd been there half an hour previous, and I saw no one then. I was on the right-hand side of the road when I noticed a figure lying in the street. It was dark at the time, though there was a street lamp shining at the end of the row. I went across and found deceased lying outside a gateway, Her head towards the east. The gateway was closed. Deceased was lying lengthways along the street, her left hand touching the gate. I examined the body by the aid of my lamp and noticed blood oozing from a wound in the throat. She was lying on her back with her clothes disarranged. I felt her arm, which was quite warm from the joints upwards. Her bonnet was off and lying by her side, close to the left hand. Her eyes were wide open. I heard a constable pass in Brady Street, so I called him. I said, "Run for Dr. Llewellyn." The doctor arrived in a very short time. He looked at the woman and then he said, "Move the woman to the mortuary. She's dead. I'll make a further examination of her." We then placed her on the ambulance and moved her there. Inspector Spratling came to the mortuary and while taking a description of the deceased, turned up her clothes and found that she was disemboweled.
Having moved, and while taking a description, they discover she's been hacked to pieces? Were they all drunk or blind or what?